Why Friday isn't just a comedy. The dark truth about its legacy. Friday is one of the most celebrated movies in Black culture. It's funny, it's relatable, and it's iconic. But what if I told you we've missed a deeper, darker layer of this classic? A layer that exposes how systemic issues in Black communities were subtly normalized in a way we never really questioned. Yeah, Friday made us laugh, but did it distract us from what it was really showing? Let's talk about it. At first glance, Friday seems like a lighthearted hood comedy, a day in the life of two best friends navigating the ups and downs of their South Central neighborhood. But beneath the humor lies a sharp commentary on poverty, violence, and survival that often goes unacknowledged. It's a comedy, yes, but it's also a raw reflection of what happens when systemic oppression becomes so ingrained that dysfunction feels normal. The chilling on the porch narrative. Craig and Smokey spend most of the movie sitting on that porch, doing a whole lot of nothing. And while it's funny to watch, let's ask ourselves, why are they doing nothing? Craig just got fired from his job, but there's no urgency in finding another one. Smokey? He's a small-time weed dealer with no ambition beyond smoking his own supply. On the surface, this dynamic is hilarious. But let's think deeper. These characters reflect a cycle of stagnation in underserved Black communities. Opportunities are limited, so chilling on the porch becomes a default lifestyle. While we laugh, the movie subtly normalizes the idea that this is what life looks like for young Black men in the hood. How many of us watched this movie and thought, well, that's just how it is? Big Worm and the trap of hustle culture. Let's talk about Big Worm. Sure, he's a funny, over-the-top villain, but his presence raises an uncomfortable truth. In communities where legal opportunities are scarce, the underground economy becomes a means of survival. Big Worm isn't just a character. He's a symbol of how capitalism and systemic oppression force people to create their own rules to make ends meet. And let's not forget how Smokey is terrorized by the very system he participates in. He's a low-level dealer, yet the pressure to pay Big Worm highlights how even within these underground economies, there's hierarchy, violence, and exploitation. So while we laugh at Smokey dodging bullets in his backyard, we're also watching a young man caught in a system designed to keep him running in circles. The broken family structure. Craig's family dynamic seems funny and even wholesome at times, but let's dissect it. His father's obsession with Craig getting a job is rooted in the reality of generational survival. He knows Craig can't afford to sit idle because Black men in America don't get the privilege of figuring things out. Then there's Craig's mom, who represents another aspect of the struggle: quiet endurance. She holds the household together with love and care, but she also brushes off deeper issues with the same dismissive humor many Black families use as a coping mechanism. And let's not forget Debo, a grown man terrorizing the neighborhood, stealing bikes, and punching people over petty disputes. Debo's character, while entertaining, reflects how unchecked trauma and poverty breed cycles of violence. This isn't just a joke, it's a survival mechanism turned destructive. Women in Friday, stereotypes and misrepresentation. One of the most controversial aspects of Friday is how it portrays women. From Joy's over-the-top, angry Black woman trope to Debbie's role as the good girl, the movie reflects the narrow lens through which Black women are often viewed. Joy, with her attitude and accusations, feeds into harmful stereotypes about Black women being loud, combative, and untrustworthy. Meanwhile, Debbie is positioned as the opposite, quiet, sweet, and worthy of Craig's respect. This dichotomy isn't new, but it's disappointing that even a movie rooted in Black culture reinforces these outdated tropes. The normalization of hood violence. The climax of the movie is Craig and Debo's fight. It's portrayed as a triumphant moment for Craig, but let's think about what it represents. Craig has to resort to violence to protect himself and his loved ones, a reality many Black men face daily. The movie treats this as a victory, but is it? Or is it a reminder that in the hood, violence is often the only language of power? And the fact that we cheer for Craig's win might show how desensitized we've become to seeing violence as a solution. Comedy as a coping mechanism. Now, let's take a step back. Friday is undeniably funny, and humor has always been a tool for Black communities to cope with struggle. But is there a danger in laughing too hard? When we laugh at Craig and Smokey's antics, are we overlooking the deeper message about how systemic oppression leaves people with few options? Icecube and DJ Pooh wrote Friday as a response to the gritty, hyper-violent depiction of the hood in movies like Boys and the Hood and Menace to Society. They wanted to show the humor and humanity in everyday life, and they succeeded. But in doing so, they also gave us a mirror that many of us missed. Friday isn't just a comedy. It's a Trojan horse, delivering sharp commentary on poverty, violence, and survival under the guise of humor. So the next time you watch it, laugh. But also think. Think about how much of this story is still relevant today. And think about why we've been laughing instead of questioning what we see. This is Phantom Files, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more thought-provoking takes on Black culture, movies, and history. See you next time.